Today, we're making banana bread. And when you see how easy this is and how delicious this recipe is, you're never going to want to buy a mix to make banana bread again. So let's jump on in. Make it with me. Hi, I'm Mary Catherine, and welcome to my table. I'm so glad you're here today. We're going to make one of our family's favorites, banana bread. And it's really simple, and this recipe is one that I found after I'd been making banana bread for a long time. But once I found this recipe, I really don't make any other. This is the best recipe. You're going to want to try it too. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to review the ingredients with you, and you're going to see how simple they are. A lot of these things you'll probably already have on hand. Might need to just pick up a couple. So we're going to start with just 1.5 sticks of butter and 1 block of cream cheese. And we're going to cream this with 2 cups of sugar. And then once we have that together, we're going to add 2 eggs. And then we're going to add our dry ingredients. 3 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. At the end, we're going to add our bananas and our vanilla. Now what I've got here is what your bananas need to look like. They need to be at least this ripe. They can even be riper than this. And so what I have done on this plate here, you'll see, I've just kind of mashed them with a fork. I just take my fork and mash them up. So I've got about 3 bananas here. And then I'll just kind of show you how I do that with the 4th banana. Usually it takes about 4 bananas for this recipe of banana bread. And it's just real quick and easy. And honestly, if you have a big mixer, you don't even have to do this step because the mixer will do it for you. But if you don't have a big mixer, I just wanted to show you how you can just mash your bananas so quickly and easily, just right here on a plate. And so that's our 4th banana, which will complete our ingredients for the banana bread. And this recipe is going to make 2 loaves. So once we add the bananas, then we'll just finish it with our nuts and our vanilla. We're going to have about 1 cup of pecans. These are just rough chopped pecans. You can chop them however you like, if you want them smaller or larger. And then just about 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So that's what we're going to use. And you can see the ingredients are simple. There's nothing really different about it. The only thing different with this recipe is that you add the cream cheese into the banana bread, and that's what makes it so tender and so delicious, and you're just going to want to try it. Okay, let's get started mixing it up. All right, so I'm just going to add my butter and my cream cheese into the mixer, and we're just going to cream that a little bit before we add our sugar. Okay, and that's starting to do pretty well. So I'm just going to slowly add the 2 cups of sugar into my mixer. All right. Now that that looks like it's mixed pretty well, I'm going to add my 2 eggs. And I'm going to turn it up a little bit for that. Okay, and at this point, I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to scrape down my sides. Just want to make sure that it's all getting mixed well. Sometimes those sides need a little help with that. So, all right, now that we've got that done, I'm going to add the dry ingredients, which is our 3 cups of flour, and then our salt, baking soda, and baking powder. All of them are 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, and then we'll want to turn our mixer on very slowly for this so that the dry ingredients don't go everywhere. And turn it up just a little now. Now I'm going to add the bananas. All right, and we're almost there. And I'm going to go ahead and add the vanilla at this point. And then mix up the vanilla and the bananas. Okay, and at this point, I'm going to do one more scrape down of the side of my bowl. I'm going to do this before we add those nuts and mix it just a little bit longer, and then we'll add those pecans right at the end. Okay, I think that's got that all mixed together. So now we'll just add our pecans, 1 cup of pecans. And that's it. That is how simple it is to mix up banana bread. And you see, that only took me a few minutes to do. I don't know that it would have been even much quicker if I'd had a banana bread mix. I hope you'll give this homemade one a try sometime. I think your family would love it. Okay, so let's get it up into our loaf pans. And like I said before, this recipe makes 2 large loaf pans. And so I'm going to take you over here. And I've already got 2 of them sprayed with the baking spray. You can use cooking spray if you want. It tends to come off pretty easily from the pans, this recipe does, but the baking spray will ensure that your banana bread loosens from the pans really, really easily. Try to make sure we get it divided evenly between our 2 pans. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I've got my oven preheated to 350, and we're going to put this banana bread in, and it's supposed to bake for about an hour. I'm going to set my timer and check it at about 45 minutes because sometimes those last few minutes I want to cover the top with foil. I don't cover it down around it, but I just kind of put loosely a piece of foil on top of it because you don't want that top to get too brown. It may be fine at that point, but we're going to check it at 45 minutes. Okay, let's put it in. Okay, so now it's just the waiting game. And this part is a little bit torturous because the smells coming through your house from this banana bread are going to be oh so good. And you're not going to be able to taste it until it comes out of the oven and cools down a little bit. So come back with me and see it then. All right, it's time to take our banana bread out of the oven. I did go ahead and put a piece of foil over it at 45 minutes for the last little bit. You may like yours a little browner and you can skip that step, but your oven may also cook it a little bit differently, but just judge it at 45 minutes and see what you think. So now it's time to take it out. Okay, and you see how I just had the foil loosely laying over the top. Oh, they look perfect. So we'll let it cool just a few minutes, about 10 minutes, and then we can take it out of the pans. So come back then. You won't want to miss the taste test. Okay, so I just want to talk about the bananas a little bit more. Even though I showed you this one that you want it to be kind of brown like this, you can let it go beyond this too. It could sit 2 or 3 more days and get even more brown, and it would just make the banana bread even better. That's not going to hurt it at all. And I'll tell you this, if you're not ready to make banana bread when your bananas reach this point, don't throw them away. You can put them in the freezer just like this. They'll turn brown all over when you do that, but when you take them out of the freezer, they will be perfect for banana bread. So if you're not ready to make it now, just pop them in the freezer and you can make banana bread whenever you're ready. So that's just a little tip. All right, let's slice into it and see it. That looks good. Looks perfect. I love the way it turned out today, and this really is a no-fail recipe. It turns out great every single time. Every single time. And you can just see how tender that is still inside, even though it's fully baked. It's just going to be so good. This banana bread is delicious just the way that it is. whether it's warm out of the oven or whether it's cooled off. It's great just that way. Before I made this recipe, we used to always take our banana bread and we would toast it and either put a little bit of butter or a little bit of cream cheese on it. Well, you don't need the cream cheese on this one because you already have it in the recipe, but it still is really great toasted with just a touch of butter on it. So if you want a piece for breakfast, pop it in the toaster oven, have it with your coffee. It'll be delicious. But it's great just to slice it and eat it too. However you want to have it. You can't go wrong with this banana bread. Let's give it the taste test. I'm just going to grab a little bite off this corner and we're going to see how it is. It really does turn out perfect every time. It's so good. I hope you'll make it today. Thank you for joining me at Mary Catherine's table today. I really have enjoyed having you with me. I hope you've enjoyed this video too, and I hope you've learned a little bit about banana bread. Don't let those bananas go to waste. You can use them now, or you can pop them in your freezer and you can use them later. Again, thanks so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this episode, I hope you'll think about subscribing. Leave me a comment. Let me know how your family likes this banana bread. Thanks again for joining me. And remember, find somebody who needs a little bit of kindness today and give them some of yours.